Hello. How are you today? I'm Natalie Rand, your wellness practitioner for Ayurveda and whole health care, as well as Pilates and yoga. And I'm here today so we can talk about what it means to turn up the volume. All right. I'm thinking so far, if you've been following this channel for quite some time, maybe from last year or maybe even a couple of years ago, you may have had several routines that you've been working on, or maybe some diet changes that you've implemented. But today I decided what a great idea it would be to make things a little bit more brisk. So if you have been practicing with me before, I'm thinking today what we'll do is we are going to begin to bring the tempo up. All right. And when we talk about bringing up the tempo, it doesn't mean you necessarily need to speed up in it if it becomes too quick for you and you're kind of out of whack. The most important thing today is for you to honor all the things that you've learned, a lot of grounding and core strength, or just really listening to your body and respecting the fact that it either can push forward or it can't. And also recognizing the difference that now, as we move further into the fall, you're getting a little bit more balance in terms of it being cool and staying very much similarly in like a comfortable lane instead of these big 30-degree drops, right? So with that in mind, we're going to begin starting with some very simple, the 12 count Surya Namaskar, all right? And when we move through this, if you have never done Surya Namaskar, if you've never done any sort of yogic activity where you've had to balance on the palms and you have wrist issues, then you will eliminate this, or you can use the wall, all right? As we move through, we're just going to do those 12 simple steps very simply, and then we'll move through. We'll do about 2 or 3, and then once we get to the third one, we'll do a variation on that and kind of go through something that people more similarly do. And then as we move through that, we'll jump back or have the option to jump back, okay? So if you have a mat, that would be ideal and divine. If you don't have a mat, then maybe get a rug or take off your shoes and be nice and barefoot, okay? I will start at the very top of my mat here. Please do take your socks off. It's very important that you're not slipping and sliding. And I'll move back a bit so you can get the whole frame of my body. All right, and we're gonna start at the very top of the mat, all right? And if you feel really stiff, you can take a nice deep breath, bend the knees, and just allow the body to hang forward. Breathe into the lower back. Let the head get very heavy. Take a nice deep breath into the nose. Exhale out through the mouth. Right? If that's too much for you, you can also put your hands all the way up here or on the thighs. Right? Exhale. And then from here, come all the way to the top. All right? Now we'll back just a bit more so you can get to the very top of my head. And we'll start with the palms in a prayer position. Big toes together, heels can be apart. And then we'll reach up to the sky. Inhale. This is the 1 start. 2, reach the arms to the ceiling. Exhale, let the body fold forward on 3. All right, let one leg lunge back on 4. Nice happy lunge. And then bring both feet back to mountain pose, downward dog on 5. And then lower the knees down to that spider 8-point pose on 6. So that's the chin, both palms, both knees, 2 toes. And then reach forward and up, pulling the navel in, let your body cobra up. Nothing too crazy, pull the abdomen. Drop the body down and then tuck the toes so both hips can go back up into mountain pose. And then the opposite foot is going to come forward into that lunge position. And then allow your body to come forward, drop the head, feet are back together, release the forehead. And reach both palms all the way back up to the ceiling. And then bring them back in front of the chest. All right, so we'll try that again. All right, starting with the palms together in front of you on 1. Reach your arms up on 2. Remember, we're just going to do 3 rounds until we move into a different variation. 3. 1 leg back on 4. Going into that mountain pose, 5. Down to the spider pose, 6. Push on through to cobra on 7. Go back up to that mountain pose on 8. Opposite leg comes forward on 9. And then bring both feet together on 10. Drop the head. Arms reach up 11. Palms come back in front of you on 12. All right, we'll do it one more time. Palms together on 1. Arms reach all the way up on 2. You can bend the knees throughout the whole time. Fold forward on 3. The knees can bend here if it's too much for you to have straight legs. One leg goes back on 4. And palms of the hands and feet go down. Hips go up. 5. Go down to that 8-point position. 6. Wind yourself through to the cobra pose on 7. Tuck the toes on 8. Opposite leg goes forward on 9. Nice lunge. Feet together on 10. Arms reach up on 11. Palms together on 12. Right? Hope that went well for you, okay? So I'm going to do something that's a little bit more traditional now that you may have seen if you go into a more traditional yoga class, all right? Arms reach all the way above you. Let them fold. You can bend the knees here if you like, or if you feel any tension in the back. You're going to this time reach out. So the fingertips go up. You're going to look out. If this is too much for your hamstrings, bring your hands to the shins. Bend the knees if you need to. Then drop the head down. And you're going to walk the right and left foot behind you to plank position, all right? If plank is not for you, you'll drop the knees down. Feel the stretch behind the Achilles and the hamstrings. Pull the abdomen in and up. Press the palms down. Allow your upper body to go slightly over the palms. So you're not rounding and tucking the hips. It's almost like you're going to go somewhere. If you're doing chaturanga, a little push-up, the legs will stay off the ground and stay active. You'll push the floor and bend the elbows so they come close to the ribs. And then you'll bring your body up. Cobra again. Tuck one toe behind you and the other and go back up to that downward dog mountain pose position and breathe. Now I'm going to do a little bit of the modification when we come back. Step the feet all the way back up to the top of the mat. If available to you, reach out again, looking out. Then drop the head down and breathe into the back of the hamstrings. And the arms are going to reach all the way back up as you lead with the crown of the head. And bring the palms together. All right, so we'll do the chaturanga modified this time. Palms together. Inhale, reach the arms up. Exhale, let the body fold forward. Inhale, look out. Exhale, reach both legs behind you. This time I'm going to go down. Knees are going to bend, so we can do the chaturanga with the palms on the floor. The knees are bent this time. Notice my pelvis is going forward with the abdomen in. Bend the elbows, same way you would. Then you're going to let the body shift forward. It's almost like you're pulling your body forward in cobra. Elbows stay close to the side of the waist. Drop the head, tuck the toes. Hips are going to come up. Breathe into the back of the legs. Then walk the feet back up to the top of the mat. Look out. Drop the head. I'm bending my knees here. It feels better for me. And then you're going to reach the arms all the way up. Right, leading with the crown of the head, palms together. This time when we stop in that mountain pose, aka downward dog, we're going to stay there and breathe for a bit, okay? Here we go. Palms in front. Inhale, reach the arms above you. Press down into the big toe, pinky toe, and heel. Exhale, let the body fly out to the chest leads. Drop the head when you can. Breathe to look out. And bend the knees and step one foot at a time back. The palms are planted onto the floor as if you were going to hop back. You're going to step back again. Bend the knees if you did the first time around. Exhale, bending the elbows. Bring the body through. And if your back is ready for it, you can go even higher into upward dog. I'm staying in cobra for today. And you'll stay here and breathe 5 times. Now this is the place that if you can't be in this position, if it's not for you, you can bring your hands to a chair. You can put a couple blocks under your feet. If it's over, you can even bend the knees if you can get up there and it's just too hard for you to lengthen. But your goal is not to flare your ribs, pulling the ribs in and up. Press the palms down. Press the outside of the feet onto the floor. Big toe press. Pull the navel up and then breathe. In through the nose, out through the nose, Ujjayi breath. It's almost like that Darth Vader breath from Star Wars without it being, absurd. Again, allow the breath to open up the body, back of the hamstrings and Achilles, and you're going to look straight out in front of you, pressing into the palms and feet. Bend the knees and then walk one foot and then the other foot up. Look out. And then drop the head down. And float the palms all the way up to the ceiling. And palms come together. All right, now we're going to turn up the volume, right? So we're going to go a little bit more. Now, so far, if the first variation was easy for you, you'll keep doing that step by step, little by little. If you need to sit into child's pose, now is a good time, okay? Palms are going to come together. Inhale, reach the arms up. Exhale, fold forward. Release the head. Look out and breathe. Bend the knees. Press the palms down. If you have not jumped before, the palms will stay. You're going to just hop the feet back, right? It's like you're going to hop all the way back to that upper position, which is plank. Bend the elbows. Come through to cobra. And each time I'm going to add a little bit more. Tuck the toes. And let your head drop down and breathe. 5 breaths. Inhale, exhale. Allowing the breath to expand all the way through the diaphragm, opening the ribs. Breathing deeply into the lungs. 5 breaths, 3 more. Press down into the palms so the hand is not a big space where the palms are. You're actually resisting the floor. It's like you're pushing the floor away. One more time. Breathe in. Feel like both palms and both feet push down. From this position, find the ribs. Lift your tippy toes up. You're going to bend the knees and you'll hop forward, right? If you can't hop in one, you'll just do a little baby hop to get all the way back to the top. And look out. It's a good place to start, okay? Even if you can do it, right? If you have not been doing it, have some restraint, right? Again, twice more. Inhale, reach the arms up. Exhale, fold forward, drop the head. Inhale, look out. Bend the knees, hop out to that plank position. Bend the elbows. Come all the way through to upward dog. Tuck the toes underneath you and then lift the hips as you look out in front of you. Drop the head. Breathe here for 5. And find the ribs. Inhale, exhale, 4. 3. 2. And one more deep breath. Good. Bend the knees again. This time you can do your baby hop. So do one big hop. All the way back up to the top of the mat. Drop the head down. Release. Soften the knees if you need to. And then you're going to lift your chest up to lead. Guide with the crown of the head. And then bring the palms in front of you. All right. One last time. Inhale. Reach the arms above you. Breathe in. Feel pressure in the bottom of both feet as you drop the head. So resist the floor. The feet and the legs are active. Right? Bend the knees. Again, step back instead of jump back if it's more appropriate for your body. Find the abdomen. Lift it in and up. Do what you can. Lift your hips. Keeping that nice long spine. Release the head. Breathe in. Exhale. And what you'll notice as you go back and forth, the back of the legs open a little bit more each time, right? And while we're here, get into your third breath here. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale. Find the abdomen. Pull it in and up. Find your Kegels or your Mula Bandha. Good. And then from here, I just want you to pedal your feet. So let your toes touch. If you feel like your hands are like already over it, your wrists are like, nope, then go into child's pose. If you're feeling okay, keep going and just pedal through the feet. Open up the bottoms of the toes and the bottom of the heels. There's like so many nerve endings at the bottom of the feet, and we do not acknowledge them enough, right? All the nerve endings in your body are at the bottom of your heels and feet. So just say hello to them. Press down into the hands. Lift your toes, lift your heels, bend the knees, and then hop forward. Look out. Breathing into the back of the legs, right? Remember the modifications. You can come up halfway if you need to, or bend the knees. Drop down. All the way upright. Great, right? You should definitely feel different, all right? So from that position, we're gonna have you all face you. Separate the legs. And today what we're gonna do is find the outer thighs, lift the legs, pull the navel in. So the legs aren't just sort of relaxed, you know? Place the feet down on the floor, lift the inner thighs up as you press the big toe, pinky toe, and heel down. Lift the inner thighs up and zipper up through the front of the abdomen and the navel, right? Don't allow your belly to sort of protrude. Find the lift. As you press down to the floor, your abdomen's gonna pull in and up. So that way you're actively utilizing your lower systems, right? All of your abdomen, rectus abdominis, all the things that create connection through the central parts, the powerhouse of your body, all right? And from here, you're gonna inhale, bring the palms behind your back, right? If you can reach, otherwise you can just put the hands on the hips. And you're gonna lift up through the waist. Look up toward the ceiling if it's available to you. And if it's really feeling fine, you can paint the sky with your chest. You're gonna pitch your body forward, hinging at the hips. Here's a good place to bend the knees if you need to. Fingertips peace sign. Grab your big toes and bend the knees to start today. So you're gonna bend the knees. I'm gonna go sideways so you can see what I'm doing. Keep both knees bent as you grab your big toes with your peace sign fingers. And take a nice inhale. And your goal is to hinge at the hips. Make sure that you're not rounding at the back. This is shortening the spine. I want you to lengthen your spine. So if you can't go there, you can just come up, push your hips back, and you should get a nice hamstring stretch here. If you feel comfortable or you feel it's reachable, you'll grab your big toes with those peace signs. You'll lift up through the chest. Get nice length through the hamstrings and spine. If this is enough for you, you'll stay here. Otherwise, you'll take a nice deep breath and drop your head. And your goal is not to strengthen your legs or stretch them out, I should say. Your goal is, in fact, to utilize your hands and lengthen your spine. So start with the elbows open to begin, releasing the head. Today, keep the knees bent because we haven't done this before. Shake it yes for taking care of yourself. And no for any tension in the neck and shoulders. And then look out. All right, take a breath again. If it's okay for you to straighten the legs, you can. Otherwise, keep the knees bent. Big toes are still active. And you can use the big toes to press into the fingers, right? And those two fingers wrapped around the toes. It's like resisting. It's like as the big toes press into the fingers, your fingers press into the big toe, all right? And then you'll drop. Now, I'm fairly flexible, so this is not unusual for me to be this low. But if it's the first time doing it, feel free to stay up higher, okay? Or bend the knees. That's another good one. Then you're going to release the head and breathe. Give yourself 3 breaths here. Inhale. Exhale. Breathe in. And breathe out. 2 more breaths. Inhale. Exhale. Last one. Breathe it on in. And then look out in front of you. And you're going to put the hands to the hips if it's available to you. And you're going to lead with the front of the chest. Your legs should be doing so much work to get you up. All right? And then relax. How did that go? Yow! Right? You can feel it all through the back of the legs. The legs have to work so hard in order for you to really have a successful experience. What that means for each person is very different, right? So we're going to move into triangle pose, right? We'll skip the pada and tada is like where you bring the hands underneath. We'll let that be the introduction to that exercise. Then let's have you walk the feet out to a big side position where both of the big toes face forward. All right, and if you're not used to doing what's called triangle, you can find a wall, a trikonasana, and find a wall and allow your body to lean up against it, right? While you're here, right, this is a great place to teach it if your wall is flat. And this one has a slight little, like, almost like a little dome here. But if you have a flat wall, your feet will be against it, the back heel will be against it, all right? And then all of this here is not locking into the knees. Instead, you're feeling this beautiful lift in the legs where you're resisting the floor. And if that's too much for you, you can skip it, all right? You can also use a chair. And if you have a chair, you can just put the chair in front of you, start to lean over and forward as you keep the hips against the wall if you're on the wall. All right, and notice how I want to hyperextend into my knees. So I'm going to keep lifting my kneecaps by engaging my legs. And finally, when I'm ready, I'm going to go down and either touch my ankle or touch the floor or grab a big toe, right? Those are your options. All right, take a nice deep breath. Look all the way up. If it's available for your neck, breathe in and breathe out. Activate your legs. If you feel like, oh my gosh, this is too much, back off, right? Now, the other option is to look down toward the floor and you breathe. Right? Another option is just keeping your body against the wall and get to where you can. Good, and then bring your body all the way back up, right? Same thing, other side, right? Let your hips start upright, right? Lift the legs so they're actively lifting against the floor. You press the big toe, pinky toe, and heel of the feet down to the floor. Make your legs about as wide as about 1 to 3/4 of your actual leg, right? Then you're going to lean on over as you reach both hands out. You'll reach all the way over, keeping the hips as much as you can against the wall, and then lower the body down. This is a good place to start on the shin. Right, if you've done it before, then you can come further down to the ankle and breathe. And exhale. Activate the legs so your arms reaching up. The side of the waist, both sides of the body are trying to be as long as you can get them. Pull the abdomen in. So we are turning the volume up today, as you've noticed. Good. One more deep breath here. And then bring it all the way back up. Good. All right. How did that go for you? Woo! All right. You should feel it in your legs. The main thing for you to do is really activate your legs, right? When the legs are just sort of locking back and there's no resistance in the muscles, then one, you're kind of like canceling out the muscles, so everything's just sort of leaning into the bones. But two, you're not having a good time. So I want you to have fun, right? So we'll do the same thing again on both sides. This time I'm going to do it on the mat. If you want to continue on the wall, you can, all right? So opening the arms out, turn that front leg forward or just out to the side so that front heel is lined up with the back heel, all right? So if you're in a parallel position, both of the big toes are in the same line. Your legs are about as wide as maybe 3/4 of one of your actual legs. Turn the front leg out. The back heel is lined up with your opposite heel, which did not change. You're going to reach out. While you're here, your arms are actively reaching like there's two people pulling away, right? One person's pulling you this way, the other one's pulling you that way. The front center of your body is lifting, the abdomen's pulling in, and the legs are resisting the floor, all right? From here, you're going to reach all the way over as you pull the navel in, reaching, and then you'll look down toward the floor and catch what you can. So you're going to catch an ankle or a shin, or you're going to put your hand down on the floor, and you'll reach up. The legs are not locking, and you're breathing. Inhale. You can either have the fingertips facing the front of the room or the side of the room where your opposite foot is. It's up to you for today. Breathe in and exhale. Then another option is having a block here. So you can put your hand on the block if it's too much. And if you're not able to come up here and feel like it feels functional, right? Reaching out. From here, bring it all the way back up. If you feel like you need to bend your knee to come up, it means you're kind of hanging out in that leg like I was just now. Breathe, lean over, and let your body reach on up. Catch what you can. This is my more open side. And you're going to breathe in and exhale. All right, give yourself 3 to 5 breaths. Breathe in and exhale. Really activating the legs so you're not sinking down and reaching up with both hands. Let the body reach out. Then from here, look down and bring the body up. At no point in time, if you ever feel discomfort, then that means You're gonna change it out, right? So we did that 2 times, right? If you want to do it another round because you feel like, I want to see like if I'm getting it, feel free to do one more round. Otherwise, we're gonna go straight away into a beautiful warrior 2. So Virabhadrasana 2, reach the arms out. The front knee is just gonna go from that position and do a nice little bend. If you need to, you can close your legs a little bit, right? Find the front and back leg. So the main thing for me, I like to look out for a knee going over the ankle. So you don't want the knee turning inward or outward. You don't want the knee behind your ankle, and you definitely don't want it before it, right? You don't want it to pass the front toe. So try to keep everything lined up, and that back leg is in the same position. The one thing I encourage is that you lift the arch under the back foot so that back leg is as active as the front leg, all right? Arms are going to reach out. Give yourself 3 breaths here as you press and resist the floor. Inhale and exhale. Breathe in through the nose, out through the nose. One more time. Breathe it on in and breathe out through the nose. Bring the body all the way back up. Turn that leg in, and then you're going to turn the opposite one out. So your hips are going to go toward that direction. Even though you're not fully turning your body as if you're doing Virabhadrasana 1, we're going to keep your hips facing the side as you bend the knee, but both legs stay active, right? If this leg needs to turn in a little bit, you need to make adjustment, feel free, all right? Inhale, reach the arms out. Take a nice deep inhale. We're going to do 3 breaths again. Remember, your arms are reaching. If you'd like to stay forward, you can. Otherwise, look front being to the leg that's bent. Inhale 3 times, inhale, exhale. Exhale through the nose. One thing I love about this pose, inhale, exhale, is if you ever get really tired, you have this beautiful opportunity to breathe. It really does help to breathe. Especially if you feel like, my leg's on fire, and then straighten up, all right? So turn both legs in. Let's heel, toe, heel, toe, heel, toe, all right? So moving right along, right? We started with the sun salutation and just a folding forward exercise, which is really great, like if you have any congestion or things going on with your respiratory system. Any of these positions where you're doing these large poses are phenomenal for the hips and the lower back, strengthening the legs and feet. Now, if you have any injuries in those areas, you can always do modified versions by just having a chair or the wall where you're leaning like we were earlier, right? Where we did our we did our triangle pose. And you can also use the wall, right? Or do a little bit less, right? So from this position, I want to go back to the lunge, okay? So let the legs come out to that wide position. I'm going to start on the left side today. You can start whichever side you began with earlier. And then I'm going to have you turn this leg out on this side to begin. You're going to bend both knees. Then I'm going to have you put your forearm on the top of that thigh, right? While the back leg is still doing what it does, as a preparation for a different space and place. If it feels like too much, you can skip it, right? But if you feel okay, you'll take a nice deep breath and start here. Breathe in. You can look down toward the knee if it's better for your neck, or you can look up toward the ceiling. And your goal is to pull the abdomen up, rotate, keeping the knee over the ankle, and breathe. Back leg is reaching down into the floor like a root of a tree. 2 more breaths here. Inhale and exhale, keeping the hip down in the back so it's not flaring behind you. The glutes aren't sticking out. The pelvis is working on being as perpendicular as it can. And then straighten up. Then we'll go to the second side. All right, same thing. Bend this knee. Opposite elbow goes on. Breathe in. And breathe out, right? This is like one of the best stretches for the inner thigh and the hip. The goal is not to flare your butt out. Your body's coming up, in and up. Hip goes down. Take a nice deep inhale. And exhale. Good. 2 more breaths. Breathe here. Feel the opposite leg activate on the floor. Feel it reach down as you work both legs. 1 more deep breath in, and straighten that leg out. All right, you should feel something in the legs, right? So you're gonna bend both knees, take a nice stretch of the inner legs, We're going to start here. Place both hands on top of the knees. If this is too much, then back off, right? Both feet are turned out. Heel and the toe are in the same line. You don't need to overturn the legs out. They don't need to be 180 degrees. When you start here, you can even start with a half little bend, palms in front of your body, and breathe, right? We're going to start with a stretch, unless it's brand new for you and you've never been in this position. And you'll just start here stretching. Allow your shoulder to come forward on one side, stretching out the inner thighs, keeping your pelvis at the same height. And then you're going to switch, stretching out the hips, stretching out the inner thighs, being mindful of the back. And then stretch again, breathe and stretch. One more deep breath in and out. Good, all right. From here, let your body fold forward. And then after all this time, I'm gonna have you go down into a child's pose, all right? So go onto your mat, both hands go in front, knees are gonna be apart, heels will be together, and you're gonna drop your hips back as you reach the arms forward. Give yourself 3 breaths here. Feel the change in your hips, your lower back, hamstrings, inner thighs. Feel if you feel exactly the same, which would be hard to believe. Or if you feel big changes, or if you feel like, oh, I pushed, or oh, maybe next time I'll do a little bit more. Good, and then we're gonna take a little gentle back bend to end, okay? So from here, we're gonna have you come up closer to the top of your mat for camel. Knees are gonna open about the distance of your hips. Both hands come behind your body so you can support your back. And this is a good place to begin and end, right? My shirt is sort of flaring. But from this place, pull the navel in. You're gonna lift your chest up as you start to lift the inner thighs. You'll lift your chest, the shoulders are rolling back, and you're just looking up to the ceiling. This is a great place to start, right? You don't have to do more than this. Lift up through the top of the chest. Hold the abdomen in, and your goal is to try to get the chest to go up and over instead of pushing your hips forward. Even though your hands are there and it makes you feel like you want to do that, you're going to try to keep it stable and then bring your body forward. Same thing again. Lift up through the front of the chest. Hold the navel in. Start to look up toward the ceiling if it's available. And then release. Another place to begin is just lying on the floor and bridging your hips. All right? One more time. Lift up. Feel the inner thighs. Lift your chest. Keep going. If it's available to you, you can go to the ankles. This is not for the newbie. This is for someone who's done camel pose before. And as you can see, I feel like the upper chest of mine is not quite warm enough because I like to move from this part of my body going first, followed by this. If I'm starting to kind of crank into my lower body, I feel like my body is just not warm enough, right? So I'm going to have you sit down onto your heels. Give yourself 2 deep breaths. Inhale through the nose. Exhale out through the mouth. Again, breathe into the nose. Exhale out through the mouth. Good, all right? So just to undo that, I'm going to have you bring your legs forward if it's available to. Otherwise, you can keep your knees bent. Both hands are going to go to the side of the body. Just push your heels in front of you. Pull the navel in. If this is too much, you can also just put your back against the wall. And you're going to breathe, pulling the abdomen in and up. Inhale, give yourself 3 breaths as you reach the heels forward. Breathe in through the nose. Find your pelvic floor muscles. Connect and exhale through the nose. Keep lifting up as you pull the abdomen in and up. Reach through the heels if it's available. Breathe in. Otherwise, find the wall and bend the knees. Nice lift up through the body. Inhale. And good. Reach the arms all the way up to the sky. Bend the knees if you need to. Otherwise, catch what you can. Breathe here. Hands can go onto the knees, onto the shins, right? And then we're going to catch what we can. And even if your hands are all the way up to the knees, you're just going to try and walk back with your hips 3 times, 2 times, looking, gazing up 1 time, then forward. And then again, keep looking up as you reach to the front of the chest. Good. Find your legs, breathe, and finally let your body fold. And then lower your body all the way down to your mat. Give yourself 5 deep breaths as you lower completely. Allow the hands to open to reach Shavasana. Find a comfortable place in your body. If you feel like you need a little bit of support in your lower back, put something underneath the knees. If you have something handy to put over your eyes, do that. And just breathe gently. Feel the changes in your body. Be grateful that you've had the opportunity to take this moment in time and space. And remember, sometimes it's just harder to show up, but you did today. All right, and feel free to take the time and stay here longer, which is ideal to do about 5 minutes of Shavasana. Now we're going to lie on to our right side, roll on over. Give yourself 3 breaths on the right side of the body while you're here. Good, and then slowly bring yourself all the way up to the top of the mat. You'll face forward, keeping your eyes closed. Cross the legs, release the head. Just feel the changes in your body. Reminding yourself that even when you do just a simple act of walking, it's so incredibly giving. Thank you so much for joining me here today. And when you're ready, open your eyes. And thank you. Once again, I'll be here on Thursdays at 1 p.m. to help you move and groove and give you some tips about seasonal changes and ways to support your body. It may not always be ideal for you, but take what you can, cherry pick, and really honor what you're feeling. And know that we can do it here together. You don't have to do it alone. Until next week, I'll see you. I'm Natalie Rand. Signing off. Bye-bye.